Hot breath. Clayton English. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Man, glad to be here, Joel. You know what it is, man.
Much respect. Coming out here and supporting the movement.
Man, I appreciate it. I like what you're doing. I've been hearing about it, and you know. What is this? Can I cuss on this? Who is this for? Is this for the church people? Is this for the church crowd? This
is for everyone.
For the children? If it's for the kids, I won't say nothing, man.
Follow your instincts. Follow your heart.
No, I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? That's what my instincts say. No, I'm just glad. I'm glad to be here, though, man. Glad I can make it out here.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out. And
it's a nice day.
It is a nice day.
Y'all got me in the room with no windows, but it's okay.
Yeah. Once you focusing on the questions at hand. Because we're trying to get out to the whole world because you, sir, have a certain skill that attracts the whole world. I mean, you're a comedian that can really entertain everyone, all ages, all races. I mean, is that a skill you developed over time, or is that something you've done since the beginning?
I mean, I've always been pretty good with people, so I can always relate to people, and most of the time, as long as they know what you're talking about, you can usually make something funny. So I think I've been doing it for a while. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, when I was like a kid, I would make people laugh, and I didn't really even get it. Like, what are you laughing at? Like, why does everybody not think like that? Like, everybody should be asking this question. Once I started doing comedy, it is something that I kind of developed and just tried. I mean, that's my main thing. Just make sure the crowd knows what I'm talking about. Does the audience know what I'm talking about? Do they understand? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk to them about something that they have no knowledge of, you know? I might not go to the hoodest room and do a long, drawn-out Game of Thrones bit. You know what I'm saying? Right. I might not go to the mainstream room and do a detailed history of Gucci Mane's beef with Jeezy. So, you know, it's just, yeah.
Did you start off, I know I hate that the scene is somewhat segmented and like, you know, quote urban or quote mainstream. Did you start on an urban side and then kind of gravitate towards a quote mainstream side, or you always did both?
I just did both because it was the best way to get the most stage time. So one of the first places I went up was Twisted Taco. So, I mean, it kind of blends together in Atlanta. And at the Twisted Taco, it could be everything. You know, you would get your mainstream people, you would get the urban people, you would get some alternative people who were just weird. So it all kind of blended together there. And then the Star Bar, I went up there a lot, and that's another place where it's just like anything goes. I've seen some crazy things come through that door. So, yeah, but I'd say that I started at both because it was the best way to get the most stage time. Like, I could, you know, hit 2 stages in one night possibly. Yeah, I'll do that. Like, a stage is a stage. Yeah, so I do the same thing most places I go. I can get off pretty much anything.
Same material, pretty much.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I might do a few changes here and there, just for what I expect the crowd to know. But yeah, I mean, in younger crowds, older crowds are different. You know, younger crowds haven't had as much experience in life, so they don't understand a grown person's point of view sometimes. So, and older people, they don't understand the young people stuff. So, yeah, so you just got to find a nice little balance. But
why do you think the majority of comics struggle to find that balance?
Because you get comfortable. You get better by making yourself uncomfortable, by pushing yourself to the limits, pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. That's how you get better. People get comfortable, man. You get comfortable. It's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. You come in. You know you can go up. I know I'm going to be able to get up here. I've been here long enough. But in the beginning, they treated you the same way they treat everybody else who they don't know. So you forget that you had to build that relationship. And I think a lot of times it's just, you know, you might go, you might not know anybody. It's out your comfort zone. You're not comfortable going, you know, if you do the mainstream, you're not comfortable doing the urban stuff or going to the hood because you feel like, oh, well, they're gonna, or whatever stereotype you believe. And the same vice versa, you go to the mainstream room, oh, well, they only want to hear, you know, people who, you know, like they're not gonna understand my struggle or where, no, they understand what you're saying if you say it to them and they know what you're talking about. So I think that comfort zone, you just got to push yourself. And, I mean, you get around, you do both, you know? Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, another comic who definitely pushes the envelope from a comfort standpoint. I mean, Dave Chappelle, of course, one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And
he's a beast. I got to, work with him and see him work. And, if you ever get to see a master work at something, just watch. And you get to see. You get to see somebody who really just drives the show. And you think you comfortable on stage, you not. Not until you seen him. You're not that comfortable. I don't care who you are, but you're not that comfortable on stage, as comfortable as he is, where I still care. And yeah, Dave definitely cares about his craft and his art, but he doesn't care what that audience has to say or their expectations because he knows where he's taking the show already. So it was yeah.
I've heard him quoted as saying, comedy is a language that he speaks fluently.
I'd agree.
Yeah?
I'd agree, yeah.
How many shows did you get to see him work?
Let's see. It was 6 here, 9 total.
9 total.
Yeah.
So in those 9 shows, would each show be completely different? He's just speaking that comedic language?
There was things like he might just change up stuff, do it a little differently. You saw him. I saw him experiment with stuff. None of it didn't work, not work. All of it was you'd be like, oh, okay, well, he did that this time. Oh, okay, so he said that right there instead of saying that right. And you're watching him piece it together. And as a comedian who kind of has to do that with your set, but you might not get to watch somebody do it back to back to back and see it evolve and oh, okay, well, how's he gonna change it up for this audience? And yeah, so it was, but yeah, definitely a little bit different stuff, but he was mostly sticking. You could tell what he was going with, what he had been working on and what he wanted to show to the people. But yeah, there'd be little minor changes and stuff.
So on show 1, he would maybe say a little bit about a certain topic, and then by show 9, he has a fully developed bit?
No, he might say a little bit about one topic, and then by show 9, you're like, okay, well, he used that to lead into this, to make this point. And it's all he had some of the best stuff on this stuff where you oh, I wish I could have thought of that. And even at some points, he'll just take questions from the crowd, so people will say stuff somebody said Black Lives Matter, and then somebody said All Lives Matter. And just on the spot, he was yeah, but not all lives are being taken. And I was it doesn't get much better than a comeback than and I'm and that's, I don't know if he had that in the chamber or wherever it came from, but how it came off was amazing. So, yeah.
Did he have people policing the audience at all, just to crowd control?
Yeah, just the security, but just that's for footage, but they do that at most people's shows too, so.
Was there any direct contact between you and Chappelle, or was this more of an observation?
Oh yeah, no. Chappelle, he knew who I was, so that was cool. That was crazy. He told me, I heard the force is strong with you, so I'm as a Star Wars fan and a Dave Chappelle fan, that was the coolest shit. You know what I'm saying?
From Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
You've got to put that on the resume.
Yeah, I definitely took it, and I'm oh, okay. No, he said I'm good. You know what I'm saying? No, I can throat choke you because, no, he said his voice is yeah.
Wow.
So that was crazy, and I don't really know, man. It's still kind of surreal, because I was my main thing was I was really watching just a lot of stuff because I'm this is somebody I watched before I even thought about doing comedy. You know what I'm saying? And this is the court you strive to play on. You want to play on the same court with Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a pickup game, you just want to hit your free throws, grab a few rebounds. That's all I wanted to do, and make it. He made that experience possible. So yeah, she was cool.
The force is strong with you. I must agree. From opening up with Chappelle, after that experience doing 9 shows with Chappelle, has that kind of boosted the confidence to step out even more on stage?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't stop. I like getting on stage as much as possible, so I still get on stage. So even after I did that, I had a show, I came back, and it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you did before, what you did previously. Those people don't know it. They don't care. They weren't at the show. And, part of it, I still got my jokes off, but it just wasn't a good overall set. And So I'm like, yeah, that kind of keeps you grounded. So, the confidence is there and you know what you're capable of, but you have situations like that remind you, all right, well, one of them rooms you go to and you got people sitting on the stage with you and, they're taking selfies the whole time. People, enjoy where you at. Like, you're not having a good time. And that's why y'all over here lonely.
Do you have comebacks in the chamber? Especially local shows, there are going to be people texting and whatnot. Do you have jokes you go to hammer them back, or is this all just spontaneous?
You might have a few in the chamber, but I like to see what happens. Because a lot of times people will set themselves up. They'll say something stupid that you can play off of, so.
And you definitely have a improv background. Has that helped your stand-up from a creative side, like developing jokes on stage?
I think it came before that. Like, I was really always kind of like that. Like, more of the stuff was that I was more worried about doing comedy because I was like, I don't know how to just make up funny stuff and be funny. I know how to play off a funny situation. I know how to, comment on something and make it funny, but I don't know how to just create. But then, I learned how to do it. So I think it's something I've kind of been doing for a while and not even realized it. And like now, the acting, it helps with the stand-up, and the stand-up helps with the acting. They both fuel each other. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I wouldn't say that the improv stuff, but I think because when I first started doing comedy, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just get up there and kind of wing it. So I think it's something that's kind of been in me.
So never like a pen to paper type of joke writing?
Yeah, now, because you gotta, like, hone that craft. Like, you gotta remember what you said. You gotta remember how you got there. Even if it's not writing it out verbatim, whatever put me in that mindscape to make that joke, that's what I need to write down, and that's what I need to remember. But, yeah, like, when I first went up, I didn't know. I didn't have jokes written. I was just like, I'm just gonna go up, and if I suck, it'll be all right because I'm just starting. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I can suck in the beginning. You allowed to suck in the beginning. And if I don't like it, then I'll just never do it again. So that was my thinking. And I went up and, yeah, it worked out.
Do you have an example of a joke where maybe you came up with it on stage and you're like, I need to remember that. You write it down and maybe add to it. Because I'd like to know, do the concepts come off stage or you find them on stage and then you...
they'll come off stage. Like, now that once you start doing comedy, you can't give nothing away no more. So if you're making your friends laugh, you're making your family laugh, whatever that is, you need to figure out, is it what about that is making them laugh, and how can I show it to other people to make them laugh the same way? So like everything, like if I think it's funny, I'm gonna write it down. If it sounds funny, if I'm listening to a song, if I hear something funny, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're laughing at the shit, then I'm like, hold on, let me type this out, you know what I'm saying? Write this down right quick, come back to it. I'm trying to think of an example, but not really. Sometimes stuff just comes on stage and it just fits. Like,
well, like last night, for example, you closed out the Improv. You had a joke about Oprah Winfrey.
Oh yeah.
And how you've never seen her in a movie with a cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't play with any of those old movies.
Yeah.
So like, is that something that was in the moment? Because you also had jokes about Will Smith in the movies, and like if he has a clean haircut, it's gonna be an action movie. And if it's like an old like nappy
if he's not trimmed up, if he doesn't have a lineup, it's gonna be a tearjerker. Yeah. It's gonna try to make you cry. Mm-hmm. But the Oprah thing came from I have been saying it for a while, but I hadn't figured out quite how to say it, and I was like, Oprah's in. I don't want to see any more movies that Oprah's a part of because she only likes the struggle. So I think, like, every movie she's in, times are bad for black people. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's how it started. And then eventually, like, I would be like, you'll never see Oprah in a futuristic thriller. And then I was like, okay, well, how can I display to people that, I was like, okay, Oprah's in them. They never use cell phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no GPS in any movie Oprah's been in. And so then it just kind of evolves from there into, yeah, so.
Do you think that level of race awareness stems from your time at Florida A&M?
I think it just stems from being in the South, period. I think, like, just in the South, like, you always have to, and it's not even like being serious all the time, but you always have to find the racist angle just because it's funny. Like, just because, like you know why they didn't let him do that, right? Because he's black. And you're like, okay, yeah, like, like you have to do that. Like, well, that's it. And just because, like, it's so much stuff that was that way, you know, like it was that way. It was the whole Jim Crow era and stuff. So where things were like that. But I think just like black folks, like either you go cry about that shit all the time, or you're gonna make light of it, or you're gonna bring people's attention to it, and you're gonna like deal with it and address it. Like, cause people rather sweep it under the rug. So I'd rather just talk about it and address it and be like, yeah, now everybody's uncomfortable. You see? See how everybody's uncomfortable now? Okay, now let's get back to laughing. I just want you all to know, like, it makes you uncomfortable sometimes. Like, black people, white people, like, sometimes like, ooh, where's he going with this? And yeah, you should feel like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when I get there and you're still with me and you're still laughing, then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, this shit is kind of stupid. Like, so, yeah.
You seem to find a lot of comfort in the discomfort of life. Where does that stem from? Is that something that was passed down? Is that a genetic thing? Like,
nah,
you learned through the struggle?
Nah, I mean, I just think it comes from being on stage, doing that stand-up. It don't get more uncomfortable than that. Like, I'm opening up my chest, like, and I'm showing, like, I'm giving you a piece of my soul every time I go up here. And I'm putting it in your hands what you do with it. Like, you could literally, like, stomp the shit out of it every time. But if I'm giving you that, then you're going to have to feel it too. Like, I'd much rather you be uncomfortable and me be uncomfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not going to all be on you. So, like, yeah, sometimes that digging yourself out of a hole, like, it's just to see, like, okay, yeah, you see how uncomfortable you feel right now? Like, and it's also like a control thing. Like, I'm taking that back away from them. Like, yeah, they're making me feel uncomfortable. Even now, I still, like, on stage, like, you know, you get those moments, you like, shit, is this working? Is it, you know what, fuck them. Like, give me this. Y'all be uncomfortable. Now we back. We good? Has balance been restored? Has balance been restored? Now that you're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. It negates itself. Now everybody's comfortable. Let's go. So, yeah, I think it just comes from being on stage. Like,
You can crumble.
yeah, man, like, it's easy to, you know, people hold their jokes hostage on stage. Like, oh, you're not gonna laugh at him? Bomb! I'll kill him. I'll kill another joke. I'll kill another one. Fucking laugh. You're not gonna laugh? Bomb! Another one dead. One more. You're like, yeah, all right. He's holding his own jokes hostages. Like,
Well, have you had material you feel like as you're progressing and gaining momentum and more exposure, is there certain topics you're trying to steer away from now? I know early on, for example, there was a lot of weed-centric jokes. Do you feel like that you're kind of past that point now?
you know what? What's crazy is, like, yeah, I got a lot of weed jokes. I have a lot of weed jokes. A lot of people will tell me, hey, well, you shouldn't have, you know, you don't need to do so much weed material, or maybe don't do the weed, or maybe don't smell like weed, or maybe don't, you know, maybe don't tell everybody about the weed shit, and then, you know, or maybe, you know, because you got to have more than weed material. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But now the shit's going legal everywhere. It's a multi-fucking billion-dollar business. It's been that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I've been telling you. I've been saying that drug laws are stupid. I've been saying this, and people are like, oh, it's just weed material. And I'm like, yeah, but look where stuff is going. Like, I don't really listen to nobody. Like, I'll listen to what somebody has to say, and maybe if it applies, I'll use it. But I don't know where your thoughts are coming from. Like, sometimes when people tell you stuff like, oh, you shouldn't do weed stuff. Okay, is that because they told you not to do it? Or is that because you don't really smoke weed? Because I do. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about what I know. And I think that's just, it's actually made it easier for me to talk about weed, if anything, to do it. But yeah, like, I still have those jokes, but jokes just grow. Like, I don't use them. I mean, I use them as needed, but there's some stuff I don't use, and some stuff gets left behind, some stuff you keep. But yeah, yeah.
Do you find weed, from a creative standpoint, is it a facilitator or an inhibitor?
It can be both, probably. Depends on the type of person you are. I'm like the weed doesn't stop me from working spokesperson. That's what Currency said in a song. That's how I feel, like, because it doesn't, if you can't do your job high, I'm not sure that you can really do your job. So, like, I mean, it's just weed, baby. Like, like every job I've had, I've probably been able to do, like, high. But that's everything. But I think it can be a performance enhancer, but anytime something becomes a crutch, like you need it to perform or you need it to write, you know, you're not in a good spot. You never want that. Like, if you need a drink, you have to go on stage drunk, like, you're not gonna be able to and then weed's a thing, like, you're not gonna bring it on the plane, you know? So you might get to a place and you don't have a contact there, you don't have, you know, so you're not gonna have weed before the show. What are you gonna do, freak out and just have a bad show? No, you're just gonna do what you do. Not for me, but I can see it being, you know, if people get too high before they go on stage and they're not about their life, then, you know, yeah, it's gonna fuck you up. Sit down somewhere, drink some water.
Have you found yourself in moments where you have to kind of check your consumption? You're like, all right, this is starting to kind of get in the way a little bit.
No, I mean, I would probably say that if I got pulled over or some shit, but nah, like, it usually doesn't get in the way. And I'm also kind of like, I go heavy and then I'll stop, you know, just because when I come back to it, I'll be way higher than I normally would. So, you know, I might go hard for 3-4 weeks and then chill for like 2, then come back. And sometimes, like, when I chill, like, I don't even notice it. It's gone. You make it past them, like, if you're a heavy smoker, you make it past those first 4 or 5 days and you good.
Well, besides stand-up, you also have experience with acting, most notably House of Pain. I think was where you get recognized the most. I've been with you when you've gotten recognized for that a few times. That is an Atlanta-based production. For some reason in Atlanta, they don't seem to be drawing from this pool of talent we have here. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they don't get out. I mean, the House of Pain thing I did, I had the benefit of the casting director coming to a comedy show. So she got to see what I actually do. So she was one of those casting directors that went out and actively sought talent. Alpha Tyler, that was her name. And she was like, you know, she gave me her card and was like, we'll keep you in mind if we have anything that we think you'll be good for. And sometimes I think that sometimes some of the A-Town talent just don't know how to necessarily go about fitting into that industry and being cool about stuff.
How so?
Just, I mean, because she came out and she gave her card to a number of people. When I went to read for the part, pretty much every black comedian I knew was at the read. So I'm already, like, intimidated. I'm like, oh, okay. So from that, I saw that, yeah, she was pulling people. And I think that they don't, like, a lot of the casting directors that come through here, we're afterthought, too. Like, they did the major casting in L.A. and New York. So they may have a few speaking lines, a lot of extra roles for the people here in Atlanta. And the people that cast those bigger parts, they just not coming out to Atlanta comedy shows. There's nobody telling them to look at this person from Atlanta. So from that industry side, it's not that. And then from the comedian side, I think some people don't know how it works. Like, if you exchange numbers with one of these casting people, you can't be constantly calling them, blowing them up, asking them, when is this gonna happen? When am I, well, you know, you said that you would get me up. Like, yo, that means nothing. Like, somebody said, you know, hey, I'll keep you in mind. That's great. They didn't have to do that much, but they don't owe you anything. And if you think harassing them is gonna get you in there, like, no, that's the wrong route. Like, and I think that's how people are. And I think people are, you know, sometimes, like, you don't get the role and then you see the person out and you're like, oh, why you ain't giving it? And then, like, that's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's for you is for you. But don't be uncomfortable to be around. Don't make it uncomfortable to where these people don't want to work with you because of harassment. So I think it's multi-layered. I also think that some people just, their approach is too aggressive and you want to blow up overnight, and that's not how it happens. Like, one thing's not gonna make or break you. It's all the things that, I mean, yeah, you might have one thing that's better than the other, but hopefully you're not a one-hit wonder and you have something else and you take a dip and then you come back and you have something else. So, yeah, but that's my take on it.
Have you been pursuing an agent or management at this point?
No, I had a manager before and it was cool, but now I'm starting to look a little bit towards agencies like outside of Atlanta and stuff. And I mean, the main thing about that is just, you gotta get on the radar some kind of way. So whether it be, a decent television appearance, whether it be a showcase, maybe it's one of these festivals, maybe it's something you did on the internet, whatever it is, you just gotta kind of get on their radar and then keep plugging at what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Realize that getting on the radar is not the end goal. That's like the first step. So yeah, I've been reaching out.
Well, you mentioned a lot of Atlanta talent being an afterthought.
As far as with the acting and stuff, I feel like, yeah.
So, I mean, you've been steady in Atlanta. I mean, you're obviously one of the top comedians in the city. Do you find yourself wanting to get out to these bigger cities and surpass the afterthought status?
I mean, yeah, just because I feel like now at this point, I got to kind of bring it to them. And it's like you got to go ball on their home court. So for them to respect you, they can come here and they can see you play and they can even play on the same court with you. But until you come to their hometown and do it in front of their fans, and then they're like, oh no, he's like, yeah, why you didn't? So yeah, that's kind of how it was with New York. And New York's a place I feel that just makes you, stronger as a comedian because it's an uncomfortable place. So like back to that thing, it's not comfortable. It's, you don't want to interact with people. Well, guess what? Now you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you have to. All types of people, all day. Like here, you can go the whole week and only deal with the people that you want to deal with. And you don't really have any interaction with. But like New York, it's like, shit, oh, crazy person right here in your face. Yep, I agree with that. Get out my face, man. All right, old lady, try to help her with this shit because she looks like she's about to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you like throw this dude a little change for playing the piano in the subway because how the fuck did he get the piano in the subway? Which is stuff you see. You like, who, you brought a whole drum set down here? Who helped you? Like, so yeah. But they say New York's just, it's a hotbed for talent for a reason. They say New York, that's where you want to go if you want to be great. They say you go to, LA, Hollywood if you want to be famous. And I think, the talent like that, I mean,
yeah, I mean, we are doing this in a daycare. I do apologize, Clayton.
No, it's all right, man. I mean, you got your hustles.
Yeah, we can't all be opening up for Chappelle and everything,
Hey, man, look. And I don't know why people say that. Like, they bring me on, like, I mean, it's a big honor, and I know he's a big dude, but don't say that before you bring me on stage. They didn't see me at the show. Now they're like, oh, he thinks he's Dave Chappelle. That's all I think the audience hears. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just...
But then when you go up to New York and you're surrounded by people that may not be well known but are seasoned comedians who can hit it night after night.
Yeah.
Is that why you're leaning towards that as opposed to LA? Because just the talent pool and
and I just know more people in New York too. I know more people up there. And I know if you get up there and you're just doing those open mics, like, yeah, that's rough. Like 3 minutes. Number 27 on the list, and it's a room full of comedians, and yeah, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not fun. So if you can't get on some of those better shows or shows where you can actually get, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 7 minutes, then, it can be torturous.
So you're trying to get more established here and build your network before you make the leap?
Well, no, I think the leap's coming, like probably like real soon, like this summer soon. But I mean, I've been doing it probably 10 years now. So and it's been here and it's been based here, and I feel like, I mean, I've been most places and it works. So I'm like, I'll go somewhere else and show y'all how much it works, and we'll see how much y'all appreciate it. So,
well, you're full time. Is most of your comedy income?
I'm what you call a hunter-gatherer. I'm more of a Neanderthal. No, I'm just playing. Like, I just get what I can. Like, it's some months I'm amazed at how much I make, and then there's months where I'm like, I haven't made any money, and I may starve. But, yeah, like, but yeah, I think that's on the table too. I think that's coming. So yeah, I think this year finna be a good year. I've been feeling good all year. So
yeah. Big summer.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 10 years in. I mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I've been putting it down for 10 summers. Like Jay-Z would say, "Where's the love?" Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you feel like you're doing everything you need to do on your end, or are there certain?
No, I don't do everything I need to do on my end. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I need to network more. I need to be better at that probably. I need to kick it. I don't need to leave right after I get done doing stuff, but I'm not good at doing that. And, you know, I acknowledge it. I try to get better at it. Still don't like doing it, but I acknowledge I got to do it. And let me see,
What's
else?
holding you back?
Just I don't like it. I don't like it, man. I don't like having to, you know, like, if I'm hanging out with somebody cool and we kicking it, but to hang out for the fact of meeting somebody and, you know, needing to be in I'm just not that person. Like, if it's not really comedy related, like, I got burnt out on the club and bars a long time ago. And if it's not comedy related, I don't really want to even be there too tough. But, yeah, and then stuff on my end, like the social media stuff, like, I got to get better at that. Like, I feel like an old man with that shit. Like, I don't get it. Like,
well, the talent level's there, and there's on your end. And there's plenty of people I'm sure you've seen. The talent's not there, but they've got the networking game locked down.
Yeah.
They've got millions of followers. They've done stand-up 2 months, and they're...
Yeah. I respect anybody's hustle, and however you get it. And that's what's cool to me about it. But I also think, like, sometimes, like, you know, those people got to put in the work, and I think people are so quick to put people on this higher status because of followers. But I don't think that always translates because, you know, Soulja Boy might got 2 million followers, but how much did his last album sell? You know, did 2 million of them people go out and buy his album? Are they really 2 million fans? Are they 2 million people that just want to watch to see, you know, what's going on in this celebrity's life, you know? So, yeah, and stop booking these people that you expect to do an hour worth of time and all they've ever done is 14-second videos. Like, some of them can go. Some of them I'll give you. They got good little skits, and there's some people that make noise and they do their thing. But some of these people, man, I don't expect them to be able to do an hour by themselves. And they do 14-second videos after editing and everything. Like, don't expect that. Like, yeah, stack the show a little better. Maybe put some comedians in there. Like, it's a few people trying to do it right. So we'll see.
I mean, as a vet in the game, do you see that long-term hurting comedy, or is this just kind of like a fad that'll pass?
Can it hurt comedy? It shouldn't. If comedians keep doing what they do and people respect what it is, because I think it hits a certain level. And there's people that, I mean, you have 2 million followers, but what's the age range? At what level? You know, so there's room for everybody. I don't think that it can mess up comedy. I think, you know, you're gonna have people that do what they do and they're gonna get what they deserve. It's some people that's gonna make good off being an Instagram comedian or a Vine comedian, and they're gonna transfer that into more stuff, and it'll be more acting, and that'll be their launching off point. The same way that it's gonna be comedians that jump into acting or writing, whatever. So I think there's room for everybody. And I mean, yeah, I think a lot of folks, some of y'all not gonna make it. I mean, that's just period. That's in anything. Like some folks just you're not going to. Like, even if you're making it right now, you're not going to continue to make it. Like, it just, I mean, ask some of them people that had one-hit wonders. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I feel confident in saying that you were going to make it.
I appreciate it, man. I really already feel like I made it for the most part. Like 5 years without working a regular job, that's as much make it as I want to. Like,
that's victory.
That's all I wanted, to live life as close to a rap song or a dope dealer as I could without actually selling dope. Like, with none of the risk and all of the benefits, wake up when I want to, be in the club all night, get paid for it. Like, yeah. So
Well, let the people know where they can find you, so you can.
You can't find me. Don't try to find me. No,
See, that's what we were just talking about, the networking.
There we go.
I'm giving you a platform, and you're like, nah.
I'm anti. All right, no. Instagram, everything. Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, Clayton English on everything. Just Clayton English, one word. Maybe a space on Facebook, but yeah, you know it's me. You'll see the picture of me. Let's see. What else am I gonna be doing?
Does plugging that make you uncomfortable?
What? Social media
Plugging
stuff?
your social media, does that make you uncomfortable?
Nah, not really. It's just, I know I'm not going to be on there like that. So I'm telling y'all to go there, and then I feel like I have y'all waiting. Mm-hmm. And when I do put something, y'all respond, y'all show love, and I appreciate it. It's only about 140 of y'all that show love, but out of 3,000, 2,000, whatever it is, that's okay with me. That's fine. But yeah, I don't really post on it, so, but I'm going to do better. I got some more stuff coming. I'm about to get a fan page. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to do it.
You've been filming some things as well.
I've definitely been filming some stuff. That's probably all going to drop like this summer. Like I'm just going to have all right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm cleaning out everything. I'm going through the internet. I'm picking up all the old stuff, getting rid of that. And then this summer, I'm going to drop all new content, just internet content though. So yeah, I got a couple of series and I might have a cartoon in the works. And yeah, but yeah, social media. Yeah, back to that. I'm on there. I'm on there more, I promise. I don't know what Snapchat is, but I don't think I'm gonna get it.
Is there anything else you want the world to know?
Yeah, man. I want the world to respect this ATL comedy, Joel. That's what you're doing. That's why we're here, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, I must say it's been a pleasure to have one of the patriarchs of the Atlanta comedy scene on the show.
I don't know if that's accurate. That would mean I like fathered it or something. Nah, like I've just been a part of it. It's just been going on a long time.
Well, how has it evolved since you've been in it?
It's evolved, man. It's a lot more, people create their own stuff now. But I'm realizing before I started doing comedy, the scene was it was pretty new. I mean, you really only had the Punchline and like Uptown, the old Uptown, as far as like comedy clubs, and then places they did comedy were scattered and around, but they weren't paying comedians money. A lot of bringer shows, you know, you bring people, bring your friends, it's $10 for them to get in, and then we'll give you 10% of the door or 20% of the door. I'm like, that's dumb. I could just ask my friends for $10 a piece. And they would give me that, and that would be, and they'd be like, I'm helping the dream. But yeah, so. You
say all these old shows have gone away, but have been replaced by that many more.
Yeah, they've been replaced. And then it's stuff that's been going a long time since I've started, you know?
Well, it's a pleasure to have one of the forefathers. It's a
Stop
pleasure
saying shit like that,
It's
man.
A pleasure to have one of the
They're not gonna erase Stone Mountain and put me and a few other motherfuckers on there. They're just not. The forefathers, don't say that. No, that's dope, but I don't think I'm a forefather. I don't want to be old yet. Like,
no, you're young, and that's what's great about the Atlanta comedy scene. It's a young scene, but we have all this talent.
Yeah, we do. I agree.
So I appreciate being a part of this.
And I appreciate you making me a part of this, man. You already know, man. We worked together a couple times, man. We've had some adventures.
But we survived.
No, we made it.
Thank you. I look forward to the future and this summer.
Yeah, let's do it. This summer, you know what it is. July 22nd. I can't say what it is, but it's what it is.
Thank you, Clayton English.
Joel Byars, fuck with me, man. You know what it is. Appreciate you.
High breath.